might feel it anytime. You might wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and feel like, I want to go make some beats. So it's good having it close by. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, you got some new music coming out because you've been creating it in the lockdown.
Definitely. I mean, we kind of had music that was made in lockdown and even released in lockdown. Like Manni was made in lockdown and it was released in lockdown. Even Majel was made in lockdown and released in lockdown as well. So yeah, we've got a lot more stuff. Definitely. I think the main focus has been trying to find some new people, some new artists and stuff. And now we've got the time to do it. Do you know what I mean? Because we're not traveling, we're not out and about. So yeah, it's been good, man.
You've been in the game for so long. Like, it's been ages since you've been around. I mean, I hope that doesn't make you sound old, but you've been in it for quite some time. There's a lot of change now. Even Bhangra music in the UK, it was very like, tall and all that. But that's kind of changing. For you, how much has it become a bit easier? Has it become harder? Is it more creative for you? Or
I guess if you hear my music, like even from the older stuff, I didn't really used to follow the traditional UK sound. So like my music never really had like too much like percussion, like dholki, tabla and stuff. I guess it was always a little bit more urban than desi, you could say. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of been like an easier progression to like work with what's like working in the industry these days, because my sound has always been like quite hip hop, R&B kind of influenced anyway. Do you know what I mean? But it's good. Like if the music just stayed the same, then we'd get bored. Everyone would just get bored. Like there would be you wouldn't be competing with anything. Whereas competition is what keeps me kind of on it. Do you know what I mean? Like it makes me want to just learn even more, learn new things, learn different kinds of sounds and softwares. If it wasn't for that, I would have my sound would have probably just died a long time ago. But it carries on progressing because music is changing as well. So I welcome the change, man. I think it's really good.
That's good. In terms of like the UK market, some people are saying it's dying down. Some people are saying it's just not releasing much. So it hasn't died down. It's still there, but we're not releasing much. You have been one of the active producers of the UK. So it's like every other month or even every other day we're hearing music from you. Why do you think that's the reason? Like, is it why you like one of the only ones active right
now? I think the UK industry went through a phase where it definitely everything started to sound the same, and like you said a second ago, like it was just about like songs, DJ songs, basically songs that would work on like weddings, like parties and stuff like that. So it was definitely a decline. Like once that kind of music stopped working, the people that were making that music kind of stopped doing that as well. But there's definitely still people that are around as well as me. Like you've got like True School Lot, they're doing stuff with their label, Check One Records. You've got like I guess the ones that have been around always, like Dr. Zeus and stuff. People like that are still around. But what I think we're gonna see in the next couple of years is there's a lot of younger people now, like people in their early 20s, singers, producers that are slowly starting to come through. So we may not see it at the moment, but a lot of that is definitely going to be coming through. Like within the next couple of years, I think there's going to be some fresh talent coming from the UK.
Do you always have like new talent approaching you and wanting to learn? Like, do you do that as well? Or?
Not really in terms of teaching like anyone. I haven't really taught anyone in terms of like a singer, or I wouldn't be able to teach a singer, to be honest. But even a producer, I haven't really done anything like that. But we're definitely we're always looking for talent. I mean, I think that's something we've kind of been known for, really. Like even back in like 2000 and even before 2016, like we started working with, you can say in 2012, Brab Gill, before he was like a big singer. And then in 2016-15 we started working with Akhil. He was an unknown guy. Fast forward to like 2018, we worked with Navan. He was a completely new guy when we started working with him. So finding new talent that's like the best for a producer. It's the best thing, like taking someone and introducing them to the world and like making them try and blow up. So yeah, we're always looking, man. Yeah.
So it's always a thing, like, you know, you always want new talent. Like, even we've seen Gary's also putting out posts, like, new producers, new talent coming through. So we could be seeing more potential, like, you know, Punjabi music growing in the UK. Are you saying that in the next couple of years?
100%. I think there's going to be a lot of singers, producers, musicians coming in the next couple of years. So it's a good times, man. It's definitely going to be a good time for the UK market. We're going to be pushing a lot of it as well. We're already working with some UK new guys from the UK. It would be amazing if we could find some female like vocalists, whatever, producers, anything, man, like to push through as well. Because you don't really see that a lot. But yeah, I definitely think in the next couple of years we're going to be hearing a lot of good music from the UK.
Now let's talk about a bit more about you. Last year was like an insane year. Like, you worked with almost everybody in the industry. We saw this picture of you sitting with Sidhu as well. That was a bit amazing. And then
I don't think that was me. I think that was someone else. I don't know who that was. Yeah.
You weren't in that picture? Okay,
No.
I'm having a little fit. Anyway.
Unless it was a Photoshop one.
Yeah, I'll be a Photoshop one. Okay. So anyway, last year you worked with almost every single artist in the market. You've worked really closely with Jasmine, and then you even won Best Music Producer at the Music Awards. What's it been like? Like, you know, has it been a bit more pressure on you because it's like so constant and you're putting out music all the time? Or like, how has last year affected your career, I should say?
It's definitely affected us in a positive way because it's quite a simple thing, really. Like, my brother used to say this to me all the time: the more you release, the more people are going to know about you, the bigger you're going to become as an artist. So only a positive can come out of if you're dropping music on a regular basis. Yeah. Last year we had I can't even remember, like, as in, this stuff is happening so fast. Like, I can't even remember what songs we released last year. Like, I'm trying to think, did Punjaba come out this year or last year? I think it was last year.
Punjaba was definitely towards the end of last year, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And like, we had loads of songs with Nav. I'm struggling to think what else we released, but it was a busy year, basically. It was a very busy year. And that definitely, obviously, because we released it independently as well, we've got our own record label, Collab Creations. We drop everything on there. It's helped build us up as a label to a point now where we're having other people come approach us saying, can you release our song on your label, which is something that we've always wanted to do. Even like Novan's latest single, it was produced by Sam B. We done the video and stuff for it, but it wasn't a Manni Sandhu production. But for me, as long as the music sounds good, I'm happy to drop it however the artist wants to do it. Do you know what I mean?
In terms of your record label, even you said that you've got a YouTube channel, you've got your own record label. Is that a bit more helpful when you want to put out your music like straight away? Because it gives you a bit more independence as well when you're putting out songs. So has it become a bit more easier for you as a music producer?
100%. Like, I remember we haven't worked with other labels that much, to be honest, but when we used to work with them, I never really enjoyed it, to be honest, because you were just handing someone control over like your baby almost, like everything you've worked so hard for, like you're putting hours and hours and hours in mixing the songs, mastering songs and producing songs, like, and then you just hand it over to someone and they've got full responsibility of it, and sometimes they don't really give it the right kind of attention it should. With your own label, we can say like to every detail how we want the song to come out, and there's no better way of releasing music. And I mean, we started our label in 2013, and if you notice now, everyone is dropping music. Every artist is pretty much dropping music on their own page, which is the way forward, man. I think that's how it should be. In the next 5 years, I think, who knows if labels are even going to exist? Who knows?
Yeah. And in terms of like, you know, music coming out and music being so constant, I actually made that point before. Music is so constant. So is it extra work for you because people are coming to you every single day, probably, like to make music? How fast is it that you have to work? Has the pace kind of like changed?
The pace has definitely changed. Like, you know, where at one point we would work on a song for like months and months and spend like 3-4 months working on a song. That doesn't happen anymore. Like, it's literally these days, you get a song and you really want to try and finish it within a week, or something, a week and a half, 2 weeks max, and then you just got to move on to the next one. You got to keep releasing. Like, you can't think this song is going to be a hit or this song has to be a hit. If you start thinking like that, you're basically working in a different kind of business model in terms of what the Punjabi industry is. You just need to release music. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then move on to the next one.
Yeah, yeah. I've kind of separate, because I do the charts and, like, you know, I look at that really closely. We've realized that over the past, like, I think 2 years, like, there's definitely a Punjabi mainstream, and then there's, like, the tracks that are not so mainstream. So every track that you've dropped has always made it into the charts. Do you realize that they're making it into the charts? Is it something that you've kind of noticed, or is it because you're a UK producer, so there's more streams and you're focusing on that more?
I mean, yeah, streams is definitely more important to us compared to anything else. Like, whatever, we do good on YouTube and stuff, but over YouTube, our main focus is, like, you know, the big streaming platforms like Apple Music, Spotify. Have I noticed that we've been in the chart? Definitely, yeah. Like, it's a way to measure how good your music is doing, like who's listening to what. Some songs stay higher in the chart, some songs don't stay as high in the chart. Like, I think Banjiba was in the chart for, like, the maximum amount of time it could even be in there, like 32, 34 weeks, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dopal done really good for us in the chart. Majel's been number, like, 1 for 2 weeks running now. So yeah, we I mean, it's not like I wouldn't think of I'm gonna, you know, I'm not gonna release a song because I don't think it's gonna chart. It would never be like that. It just so happens that so far the music has been doing well and it's been charting, which is it's massively appreciated, man. Like, we don't ever, like, take that for granted ever.
Yeah, as a music producer, like, we've even seen Manni name it into the chart in the first week that it was dropped. That was a track that was made, like, you know, just over lockdown. You gave a whole story about it, how it kind of came about. In terms of that, like, I was speaking to Navan as well, and he was saying that, you know, it wasn't a planned track. Like, we didn't plan the track. It was just something that Manni made a beat, and we kind of came up with lyrics straight away. Even that track made it into the chart without even having a video. So as a music producer, although, like, you make the track and that's kind of, like, you know, your duty done, but do you think, like, a track does better if it has a music video? Is a music video more important now?
It's like, it's hit and miss. I would say 80% of the time a song probably needs a music video if you want it to reach, like, the mass audience. Now and again a song comes out, like, where you can just drop it as an audio and it kills it, but even then, if it kills it, they end up shooting a music video to it anyway. So pretty much, I guess you can say that music videos are important. It's because a big part of our audience, which is India, they listen to music on YouTube as opposed to, like Spotify, Apple Music. That is big out there in India, but the main, like, platform, I would say, in India is YouTube to find music, listen to music. So it's important, man. It just helps spread the music out a little bit more. People want to see the artist in the video and stuff. So I think it's quite important that, you know, we have music videos and stuff. Yeah.
Coming to that and talking about, like, you know, Punjab and, like, you know, the audience in Punjab, the industry in Punjab, because it's mainly in Punjab. We have a couple that are, like, out in Canada, some in England. And how hard is it for you to work with the artists in India? Do you usually travel, or do they travel down? How does it work usually?
Yeah, it's normally, like, for example, when we done the early stuff with Navan, like In Demand, radio and all that kind of stuff, it was me having to travel there and shoot the videos over there. But once he started to get a bit of a name and he built up more of a following, we were able to get him to the UK. So, like, he shot Sick Tone over here, he shot Sandhu Takeover over here. So a lot of it is traveling, but obviously these days we have phones and stuff. We have WhatsApp. We can talk on WhatsApp. We can share songs. Majority of the songs that are made all over the phone. Like, Navan will send me a voice clip. I'll send him a beat. Then he'll send me the vocals. That's just mainly how it works because it's a lot easier. But then it's good because sometimes when we worked with Ezu on Mandini, like, when we first recorded the first bit before the version that everyone heard, Ezu actually done another track for me. We were in the studio together, and that's like a different kind of buzz, you know what I mean? Where you're in the studio working with the artist, he's composing, we're playing beats, beat after beat after beat. whatever they want to hear, they can hear. I definitely enjoy being in the studio with the artist more because there's more of a personal touch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of like, just your growth and like, from back when you started and when you look at yourself now and like the tracks that have came out, like how do you measure your growth? Like, is that something you look at? Do you look back and do you realize how much work you've done, or you never
Not
get
yet, not yet, not yet. Like maybe when I'm like older and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know, like 45, 50 years old, then I'll look back and think, okay, yeah, man, like we done some good stuff. But right now, it's not. I don't even want to think about what I've done. I want to think about what I'm doing and what I want to do in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much more left for us to do, and like we've got big plans as well. And I think if you become too comfortable, then you can start. You get too comfortable basically. Like you stop putting in the effort, you stop putting in the hard work. Whereas even now, like I'm probably my biggest critic. Like I will listen to my beat over and over again, and if I'm not satisfied with it, I won't even be able to sleep sometimes because I'll just be thinking about it, and I'm not satisfied until I get it right. I'll work days on days and days just to get one beat right, and that's the kind of attitude I need to carry on having until that day comes where I can just sit back and look back at everything we've done and be proud of it. But yeah,
Has
I'm
there
not
been
really thinking
times
about
where
it.
has there been times where you've literally not liked some music that you've made and you've had to scrap
Yeah,
it and start over again?
100%, 100%. Like that happens, man, and like for example, I've worked on some beats where I've been working on it until like 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock sometimes in the morning, and at the time it sounds like the best thing I've ever made in my life. And then I wake up the next morning and I hear it, and I'm just like, nah, man, this is not it. It's not right. And like that's like probably 8 hours I would have spent working on something, but that happens over time, man. Like as in you need to keep on finding ways to be creative and being inspired. Like even Dr. Dre says, Dr. Dre's one of his best quote is like, never stop being inspired. The day you stop being inspired is when you're just going to lose creativity. So I mean, sometimes you have your good days, sometimes you have your bad days. If it doesn't work out, you need to have the energy and you need to have the drive to wake up the next morning and say, okay, it never worked today. I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it again and I'm going to work even harder. And that's the kind of attitude I've always had from the start. And I think that's the reason for getting to this point. But I need to make sure I maintain that attitude to go further.
I think it's so important to stay positive in the industry or even in like any artistic field that you are. Like if it's something creative, you have to be positive because I mean, you see a lot of things on social media as well. So if you don't have a positive attitude, I think it puts a stop to work as well.
Definitely. Some people overthink a lot of like, as in me too. Like I used to be like that as well, but I've definitely stopped after a while. Like some people think just too much into the music. Like, is it like this? Is it like that? I can guarantee any artist that's listening, the song that you think about the least and you don't put that much effort into is probably going to be the song that kills it the most.
Yeah.
And then you'll work on a song for like 6 months and then you'll release it and then it won't like really do that well because I feel like the audience can kind of feed off that energy. Like the audience just wants like music that's made in a happy vibe, you know what I mean? And that's going to be the music you make just quick time and like without any big focus. But if you just overthink every little detail, I feel like the audience can feel that in the music, that they know like when something's been worked on too much. So yeah, man, that attitude of just thinking about something too much it's not really going to benefit anyone, to be honest, in music.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the listeners have become so like clever or like they're so more like they know about music a lot more than they used to like 5-10 years ago. So
Yeah,
definitely, even if somebody has made a mistake, there's one or two people that will pick out on it and you'll probably see
yeah,
tweets about it or something. Like
yeah,
get
yeah,
over
yeah,
with that.
definitely.
Let's talk about the track Majel.
Hmm.
It's in the chart. It's at number one this week. It was at number one last week. It knocked off the track Bambi Habole from number one. That was a massive hit. Although on Twitter there was a lot of like negatives and positives, but the negatives were that we saw a lot of tweets saying that Manni, you've copy and pasted the track, and there
Yeah,
was an
yeah,
English track a couple of years ago. Whereas we did our research and we found out that it was like you are allowed to do you can pick out thing, and you are allowed to buy off a thing like that. So how did you work on that? What is the answer that you're giving to people? Because I don't think we've heard your side to the story.
Yeah, like I think it's mainly the negative comments around that it was mainly a misunderstanding. I don't think really people kind of understand the art of sampling, because some people said that, oh, he copied and pasted the beat, or he he just got the instrumental from YouTube and he put the AP vocals and Grinda Gill vocals on top of that. I'm telling you now, I probably spent more time working on that song than any of my other normal songs, because that beat wasn't copied and pasted. It was remade. Like there was nothing taken from the original. And like, I think these days, probably about 50-60% of the music that comes out is sampled from somewhere, Punjabi music. But the people just don't know like where it's sampled from. Like there's like applications like there's something called Splice, where it's easy for a producer to literally drag and drop loops into their songs. And like, all of that is technically sampled, and that's not even replayed. Like, at least I went through the effort, like spending hours and days like replaying every little instrument and trying to get it perfect and mixing it myself. And I mastered it with AP as well. Like, the reason people probably tried to make a negative situation out of it was because they recognized the sample. Now, if somebody else releases a song and they don't recognize the sample, they're gonna have no issue with it. Do you know what I mean? They're just gonna think like, oh yeah, this is something that they've made. But the only reason they recognized that was because it was from a song that they recognized, which I think that song came out like 19 years ago. Somebody told me the original came out a long time ago. So yeah, it was. I mean, I've spoken to like some of the biggest producers you can say in our industry, and every single person says like people. It's like some people just don't understand. Like they don't understand the concept of what I did, which was, remake a classic beat that me and AP both love and do it to such a level where people think that it was actually copied and pasted from the original. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've been making music for over 10 years. Like, I'm not an idiot. If I wanted to, I could have made a beat myself, but that was done intentionally. I done it because I wanted to do it, and it sounded sick. And I think once people got over the whole sample thing, people kind of realized like, oh, this is actually a sick track. Do you know what I mean? It actually sounds really good. So yeah, I mean, that was just something. It didn't really phase us too much, to be honest.
Yeah,
because
but even in the credits, even in the credits, it says reproduced.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't know where the confusion kind of began, but
yeah. You know what some people are like? They just want to talk about something negative if they have the opportunity to. But yeah, the main thing is the people that I care about, like the respected people in the industry, the respected producers, they know like that was done, and it was done in a good way. So that's all we really care about, to be honest.
In terms of your relationship with everybody in the industry, like, are you quite close? Because we see you with Navan, we see you with Ezu, we see you with like, a couple of people in the industry, but who do you gel with like the most? Like, who is like your go-to person? Is there somebody that you would ring up at 3 a.m. like,
Yeah, like, as in, I guess that's one thing that happens with us. Anyone we work with, we end up having like a good like personal relationship with them. Like, we chill together. Like if we have a link, we'll go and eat food and stuff. We'll like just get together, whatever. So I would say Navan is definitely someone like that. We get along with him. I can call him up anytime. Jasmine is someone that at the start I never really thought me and Jasmine would have like that kind of like friendship, kind of like a good friendship that would last long term. But like, she gets along with everyone, like even in people in my family. Like, she gets along with everyone that I know, man. So she's someone that I would consider I've got a really good relationship with. I would say that's probably it. Like, out of the new bunch, obviously one of my closest friends is Sangra Vibes. He's like a brother to me. Like, I've known him for so long now. It's not even like I didn't even think to mention his name, because like he's like always someone that's there. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I would say I've got a good relationship with anyone I work with, man. Like, there's not really anyone that's being like that way. I don't really want to talk to them or anything like that. Yeah.
Has there been a time though, like, when an artist has like walked into a studio, into your studio, and you've kind of just felt like, okay, maybe it's not going to be a friendship, we'll do it professionally, we'll get done and over with? Like, has there been, you don't have to take a date.
maybe like the very odd time. Like I've been doing music for a long time. Like there may be the odd person that comes through. I'm like, okay, like this person just doesn't really seem like he's on our kind of vibe. It could be a he or she. I'm not going to say who it is, innit? But yeah. I mean, it happens, innit? The same way it happens in like personal life. Like you could be, you know, for example, you can be out and about and you might just come across someone and that person might not just be on your wavelength. Do you know what I mean? That it happens all the time. So yeah, I guess it's
You
just like
you actually mentioned Jasmine, and you and Jasmine are like, you know, as you said, you guys are good friends. But the music that you guys have produced is insane. Like it's something so new, so fresh, and it's worked really well as well. We've seen the outcome of it. Well, how did it kind of start with you and Jasmine? Like, how did you guys actually meet, and like, how did it come about?
we met. It was at an event. I think maybe I can't quite remember. I think it was last year, maybe early last year. We met at an event, and it was actually her kind of like her manager Mandeep, who like looks after her UK stuff in it. So I don't know if she's a manager, but she looks after some of her UK stuff. And she basically was talking to my brother, and then we met Jasmine through her, had a studio session with her, and that was the first time I played her the Punjibba beat. And I had already known that I'm going to meet Jasmine, so I made that beat specially for her. Like I played her about 4 or 5 other beats, but when I played her the Punjibba beat, like you just felt like the atmosphere in the room changed. Like everyone just started nodding their head, and like she was like, "Yo, what is that beat? I want to do something on that beat." And then yeah, and then from there it was kind of we stayed in touch. It was a mission to find lyrics for Punjibba. Like we tried so many people to try and like write something on there. It wasn't working, and in the end, KV, he killed it, man. Like, and this was a week before the video shoot, so we had the video shoot planned, and we didn't even have lyrics for the song
Oh, so
ready.
the song wasn't like the vocals weren't even done.
Nah. Like we like it was like, let's say she came to the UK on Monday, and the shoot was planned for Sunday, and on Monday we never had a song. And I think by Wednesday I got the lyrics off KV. Even I was on KV's case, man, like every day saying, bro, like we need these lyrics, man. And he's an artist as well, so he's gonna take his time doing something, which I completely understand. And then he came through, he killed it. I think we recorded the vocals on like the Wednesday, Thursday, and then the song was just about ready for Sunday for the shoot. So it was crazy last minute, man, but it worked out like really well.
A last minute track, but it came out amazing. And like even now, like when you play the track, it's just so new, it's so fresh, and it's just nice to listen to. You don't get bored of tracks like that. And somebody asked a really good question, and I actually kind of got my eyes on there. They asked, like, you know, how do you keep your music, keep your style kind of updated? How do you keep it kind of fresh? How do you work? Like, how do you make it quite new? Because it's quite easy for a music producer to kind of be repetitive.
Yeah. I would say you have to change with where the sound is going, like as in just what's working in the industry, what people are listening to. But there's a way to do it. Like you can't just change your whole sound. Like you need to do it in your style, because like if I just change my sound every single like year or something, then I'm gonna have no identity. Like no one's gonna know like this is Manni Sandhu, this is his sound, like this is what he does. Because people come to me for the Manni Sandhu sound basically. But you can change your style, but you can do it in your sound. So for example, like a song like In Demand, that sounds nothing like Dorni Kulli or anything like that. But you can say that it's got the Manni Sandhu sound. Even like Punjibba has the Manni Sandhu like signature sound on it. Do you know what I mean? So it's about knowing what the people want, but you don't want to do it where you lose your identity. You want to do it so people understand that okay, he's moving with the times, but he's doing it in his own way.
Yeah,
That's what I would say is the best way of doing it.
that I think that's such a great answer, because I think I've never really like got that take from anybody. Like they've never gave me this answer, and I always wanted to know, like, how do you guys make it so new? In terms of like, you know, coming up with new artists, working with new music, do you feel like, you know, because radio in demand, and then there was a couple of tracks you did with Navan, do you have this thing where like there's a backlash as well? Do people come to you and they say, okay, Manni, like this is not it, and like, you know, you're doing the same thing, or has there been a backlash to like your own identity? Or
I mean, I guess you see it. You definitely see it happen. But the good thing is that I would say the good thing about that is every big producer that I look up to, people say the exact same thing about them as well. Like even if we look in the hip hop industry, like there's a producer called DJ Premier. He makes like old school kind of hip hop, like East Coast kind of music, and a big people criticize him all the time, saying that his beats all sound the same. Um, Even like producers like I guess Dre, to a certain extent, he has a sound. In the Punjabi industry, Zeus, they used to say the same about Zeus. They technically used to say the same about True School, but people don't understand that that's like an identity that a music producer has. And if you don't want to listen to it, like I'm not forcing anyone to listen to my music. Do you know what I mean? I'm putting it out there. If you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. If you don't want to listen to it, it's not a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not going to affect me in any way, basically. But there's people out there that listen to my music for my sound, and that's who I make the music for. The people that don't want to listen to it, I don't make music for them. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just you gotta have thick skin in this industry.
definitely, and I think this is that's one of the reality of the industry as well, that you have to have like thick skin, because otherwise it's just you're going to be too emotional, you're going to be too upset.
Yeah, man, trust me. Like people are ruthless these days on the internet. So you definitely just need to be able to block out all the negativity. And yeah, I think that's some advice for like the younger people coming through. Like there's gonna be people like chatting a lot on the internet. Like even if you're not even a music producer, you could be just a normal person and you'll just get hate on Instagram. But you just got to remember, man, you got to take everything with a pinch of salt. It's over the phone. Like if someone's coming up to you to your face saying something, fair enough, then it's a situation. But I don't really like take anything serious that's said to me over the phone, because it's like it's like a fake person, basically, almost.
You never know who's behind. Maybe it's some guy's picture and it's actually
probably is. Probably, yeah. Or the other way around. If it's a girl's picture, it's most likely a guy. So yeah.
In terms of like, we had a couple of questions come through on Instagram. There's two names that keep popping up, and like you know, they're really in demand right now. There's either Karan or Sidhu. They're doing really well in the industry. Are you coming with them? Because we haven't seen you pair up with them anytime.
Yeah, I mean, I would say never. I mean, the opportunity is always there. They're both, what they're doing is just amazing, man. I think they're pretty much already in the history books of people that are taking the Punjabi industry to like a further level in terms of like the numbers they're doing are like bigger than mainstream artists. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely big up both of them, man. They're absolutely killing it, and I'm sure most likely it will happen eventually. Like, I can't see it. You never know. It might not happen. It might happen, but I think hopefully it will happen. Yeah.
Who do you listen to like nowadays? Like who are you listening to? From the Punjabi industry, it could be from any like, you know, mainstream industry as well. Like who do you listen to the most?
Well, obviously being like born in the UK and stuff, I've always followed like UK mainstream music a lot as well. So like even back in the day when it was garage music, I used to love garage music. Then like grime music came, I used to love grime music. Now we've got like UK drill music, which is killing it. I love the UK drill sound, man. Just the music wise, I love it. Some of these young guys that are doing well are killing it as well. I'm definitely going to start producing some of that stuff and putting it out there. I've been messing around with a few drill beats. So yeah, I mean, you've got not Punjabi producers, but guys from the UK that are Punjabi, like JB, like Steel Bangles and stuff. They're killing it in that industry. So that's probably what I'm listening to in terms of like English music. In the Punjabi industry, who's good, man? Yeah, like people like Navan. I like Navan. Like the names you said, like Sidhu, Karan, they're doing well. AP lot, I'm just amazed at what they're doing right now, because I'm probably the most excited about them, because they're just dropping fire. Like every single song is just, it sounds sick. So yeah, I would say that those guys are people I'm definitely excited about.
Yeah. And you've worked with AP and Gurinder and the whole team. Now they came around like really like, you know, during the lockdown is when we actually heard more of them. They were dropping so much, and there was a day I went on Twitter and AP Dillon was actually trending on Twitter in the UK. And suddenly it's just like these names have come out of kind of nowhere, and everybody's like, who are these lads? Because they've knocked off Sidhu, they've on the chart. And that's a big thing, no matter what you say, like, you know, in terms of like, although like in India they might be popping off and stuff, but knocking off Sidhu in the charts is a big thing. So these lads, like, you know, even UK, you've worked with them. How did you kind of come across them, and what do you kind of see them moving forward? Because they've kind of just bought something new. It's very fresh.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I think they as well as bringing a different kind of music out, they've kind of like shown a different kind of fan base, really, because their fans are obviously they're just starting out at the moment, so their fan base is going to grow and grow even more. But like their fan base is crazy in Canada and even in the UK and like America. Like it's the youngsters that are really, really in like the Western countries that are really listening to their music. And because we dropped Majel with them, we can see like the numbers and like, where it's coming from. And trust me, these guys are getting crazy numbers, and the locations it's coming from are so interesting. It's like Canada, UK, America. I think obviously eventually they're going to hit Punjab, but they're like basically giving birth to a new audience, which is young people in these Western countries that just love the urban music, because they're doing like the urban music in Punjab was urban anyway, but they're doing like a whole new level of urban music. They're making music that is like, it sounds like like mainstream music, but you got Punjabi vocals on top of it. So yeah, man, I think their journey is only hasn't even started yet, man. They've got a long way to go.
I actually remember, like, you know, I came across the track Deadly, and I was like, who is AP Dillon? I was literally thinking, I was like, who is this guy? And suddenly it's popped up, and hence they're doing so well in terms of numbers, because they're getting streamed in insane numbers. Like I've seen the background, like, you know, information that we get for the charts as well. Like looking at the numbers, we're seeing that people are actually buying the track as well. And it's very rare that people buy the track. Working with them, they're from Canada, I believe. You're from the UK. Did you approach them? Did they approach you? How did it kind of work?
So my brother, who like does the jazz, he does like the company side of stuff, like with me basically. He handles all of that stuff, like the company side of stuff. I do the music. He contacted AP like a while ago, like quite a long time ago, like before Deadly and everything. And like he put me onto them as well. So he showed me their music, and I was like, yeah, man, these guys are sick. Like we should do something with them. So my brother was talking to them, and we sent them like loads of beats. We were actually working on another song, which like we're still working on that song, and we just happened to send them the Majel beat during that, and then they just like done it in like 2-3 days. Like just turned the song around, and they were like, yeah, like we want to drop this one now. So yeah, like that's how the whole relationship came about. But yeah, they're cool guys, man. Like AP is mad talented, like as well as some people don't even know. Like he produces music as well. He makes beats, he mixes, he masters, like, and like he's got a good ear for music. Like he's picky as well, which is a good thing. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of good music coming from them guys, man.
The lads seem a bit intimidating. Are they intimidating, or are they quite nice? Or
Nah,
you haven't heard from them yet, so is that why?
Nah, they're not intimidating. They're like proper like cool guys, man. They're all like down to earth. No, like not even one time working with them was there ever like any kind of arrogance or like them like trying to make it difficult. Like it was like probably the most smoothest collaboration I've ever done. Like it was so simple. Like everything was so simple to do. But nah, they I mean, I don't know. Maybe with other people they might be, you know what I mean. But nah, they're all good, man. Good guys.
Like, coming back to you. What's like the best compliment you've received so far? Like, you know, so far in like your entire career, what's the best compliment?
It's gonna be tough for me to think of one like on the top of my head, to be honest. But I would say the best feeling you get is when like I've seen people that comment on my music and stuff on like YouTube, and to be honest, it's not very often you go on a YouTube music on like a music video and like people are talking about the music so much. Like normally people say like sick song, like this and that, like, vocals sound great. But one thing I'm like, oh, thank God every single day, man, for this. But like people really, when they talk about my music, they really like feel my music. Like the same amount of like love and attention I put into my music, it's like they know that, they can feel that. Like some people like say like when they like close their eyes and listen to my music, like it just takes them to like a different world. Obviously, it depends on the song in it as well. Like if it's that kind of song, like Gundy is that kind of song where I think like it's just like a dreamy song where you can just like take you like somewhere else. You know what I mean? And like that's the kind of thing I want to do when I make the music, and the fact that people feel that and they also kind of resonate with that as well. That's the biggest compliment, that when people hear my music, they actually comment on the music. Like, yo, the music is so sick. So that's probably the biggest compliment I would say.
It's actually very true, because with music and whatever's coming out, and like, you know, the song in general, people do focus on lyrics more. But one thing we have actually noticed with your music is that, you know, the first thing you notice, like you won't notice the lyrics first, you notice the music first. That's a massive compliment for a music producer, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of like criticism, what's one of the like worst criticisms you've received, and like, you know?
There's actually some funny ones in it. Like I don't know if you remember the Sone Rangiye video, where I'm like walking around with the harmonium.
Oh, I remember that really well.
Yeah. Like I don't know. At the time, it felt like the best idea in the world to do that storyline, and like when I'm like getting angry at the girl for wearing jewelry and stuff. But like I don't know, like we were young then, innit? So, and we didn't have anyone around us to like help with music video ideas, so we used to do that all ourselves. So like yeah, like I would say that was like a funny one where people used to say, "Oh, Manni Sandhu, yeah, he gets the harmonium and he just walks around in random fields and plays the harmonium." That was quite a funny one. But as you grow older, I just laugh at it. I find it funny as well. Like I look at the video and think, "Oh my God, man!"
I've watched that video so many times, and I can just remember the girl just throwing her jewelry away, and that was a different kind of vibe.
Yeah, very different. Very. I guess we were trying to relate to the lyrics somehow, but maybe we needed like a video director to come in and say, "Was do it like this, do it like that." But we were kids, man. We were young when we used to do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah. But it's like funny criticism, so I just laugh at it.
Like in terms of like food and like, you know, are you quite foodie? Do you like quite a lot of foods, or are you just quite basic with food?
Nah, I love food, man. I love like food is probably like my second favorite thing after music.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing? Like, can you cook as well?
I'm probably not the best cook. No, I'm not the best cook. I love Punjabi. I would say Punjabi food's my like number one food. Like, I love any kind of Punjabi food. I love. I just think we've got such a like Punjabi food is such good food we have, man. Like from like breakfast, like paranthi and stuff, and we have like roti. You can have like dal, sabjiya. With such a variety of food, and then like the desserts. Punjabi desserts are amazing. Snacks, golgappe, samosa, pakore. Like, I love that, man. I love Punjabi food is number one. And then second, I would say Italian. I love Italian food as well, like pizzas, lasagnas. I'm the kind of person where I'll have like 2 months where I'm the healthiest person in the world, like I'm the strictest person in the world, the healthiest person in the world, and then I go through 2 months where I'm the most unhealthiest person in the world.
That's a mood in itself. I think everybody will relate in the comments. Everybody watches. Yeah. Like I can just relate to that. Yeah.
I have my ups and downs, but what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to find like a balance where, you know, like I enjoy my food, but at the same time I'm eating healthy as well. Like 5 times a week healthy, 2 days a week, you know, go wild. Yeah.
Manni, in terms of like, you know, just apart from music, I know you're going to say music is my only hobby and like that's the only thing I do, but apart from music, what else do you like to do? Like, you know, is there something else you do in your free time? Because now music has become your work as well.
Yeah. I'm going to sound boring, man, but to be honest, not really. Like if I'm not doing music, I'm just chilling, like watching movies, relaxing. Like that's literally all I do. I'm either making music or I'm chilling. I can't really think of any hobbies I do outside of music because I don't do anything. I don't play football. I don't do anything. There's no sport that I'm really into that I do outside of like music and stuff. I'm not really doing anything. I just like chilling, watching movies, eating, and then that's it really. Yeah. I'm a boring guy, innit?
Do you eat whilst you make music as well? Like, are you do
You
that?
know what? I've actually like discovered, yeah, like what music producer do you know that is in good shape? There's not many. There's not many because we need food, man. We need food to like, fuel our brains. Like we need creativity, and like creativity comes from. I've done deep research about this, like what chemicals in your body like release creativity and stuff, and like sadly enough, it comes from like bad food, man, like junk food and stuff. So yeah, but it's all about having a balance. You don't want to like kill yourself just making
Like,
music.
now we know what you do in your free time. You're searching stuff like effects of junk food.
There you go. There you go. That is my hobby. Just researching crazy stuff. Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much what I
In
do.
terms of speaking Punjabi and like communicating with the Punjabi, and are you good at speaking? I mean, I've never heard you speak Punjabi ever.
Yeah, I mean, my mum can't speak English. Like my mussy can't speak English. Like I speak to all of my family. I speak to in Punjabi. Even singers, like the singers that I work with in Punjab, I speak to them all. I speak to them all in Punjabi. So
Yeah.
I guess the only reason I don't publicly do it is because you know what people are like. You mispronounce one word and then everyone will be like, "Oh, in Punjabi nahi on this and that." So just to avoid it, I just, but obviously, if I meet people when I'm in Punjab, I go to Punjab a lot. If I meet people on the road, I don't speak to them in English. I talk to them in Punjabi. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, one thing we've realized in Punjab, like I've been a couple of times now, and like even even if you go for work, people speak English more than Punjabi over there now. So
It's crazy, isn't it?
yeah,
It's crazy. It feels weird sometimes, like
you have to
going.
find people to speak Punjabi.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. It's definitely even sometimes like when I'm working with a singer, like they're trying to talk to me in English and like they're struggling a little bit. I'm like, yo, talk to me in Punjabi, man. Like I can talk to you in Punjabi. It's not a big deal. So yeah, you're right. But it's at the same time like I'm not going to say it's a good thing, but what I was going to say is India's progressing a lot. You go there and like it doesn't even feel like India anymore.
Yeah,
Like they've got like crazy like hotels and like restaurants, but that's a good thing. Like they should have that. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we've had it over here in the UK. We've had the you know kind of we've been lucky to live a good life over here, and they should have that as well over there. There's no reason why we shouldn't think of India as like going to like 20 years ago. Now
yeah,
it's more modern
yeah.
than the UK. So fair play to them, man.
It's really easy for us lot to go to Punjab. Like I would talk about Punjab more because even like outside of Punjab, like Chandigarh is a state now. But like when you go to Chandigarh, it doesn't seem like you're in India. It seems like you're in the UK. Like they have like a bigger mall that we have like down here.
It's crazy. It's like I remember back in the day when like I was young, you used to go to India and then they used to be everyone would just look at you. You just get looks by everyone.
Yeah, and it's
They'd
just
be
like
like, yeah, like Munda Baro Aya. Now you go, no one even looks at you. No one's gonna like double look at you or anything like that, which is it's a good thing, man. It just shows that India's progressing. Punjab is progressing at just like crazy speed. And if anything, it's good. It makes you feel more at home when you go there. Like I used to go to India. We used to stay in our bend, and like they just used to be like we used to go in the summer sometimes. There used to be like gallia all over the wall and stuff, like lizards coming out of nowhere. Now it's a bit more comfortable. We can go stay in some nice hotels and stuff. And
you don't have to be scared. Like there's gonna be an
trust
insect or
me,
something like a
trust
gnat
me.
will creep up.
I know, man. I know. But it's definitely moved in a good way, man.
Yeah,
It's good for everyone. It's good for everyone.
definitely. So you've gone to India. What village are you? Get up India. Like I never asked you that.
Talwandi Slam. It's near Nakodar, so like I guess you could say Jalandhar side. It's about half
London
an hour.
ends.
Yeah,
You're from the same end, so that's good.
repping like Doabe in it
Yeah,
always and stuff there. Even though my last song was called Majel, but that was them guys,
I
innit?
know.
I ain't gonna kill us.
I missed it there, but it's alright. I guess that was their thing
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
In terms of the album, a lot of people are asking about album.
Mm.
Are you working on an album right now?
I was definitely working on an album. There were plans, but to be honest, like lockdown kind of definitely had an effect on it because when I work on an album, I need to go places. I need to go to India. I need to go to even other. I was planning on going to Canada this year. I wanted to record people. Like when I work on an album, I don't want just people to send me the vocals over the internet. Fair enough. Now and again for singles, that's okay. But when you're working on an album, you're working on like it's like a body of work. Like it's a lot of work goes into an album. So an album is definitely going to come. There's songs here that are ready for an album, but it would be better if I was with some artists. So I'm just waiting now.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I think the traveling thing has definitely been affected. So like, you know, traveling and working with people like that, like quite closely because there's social distance. Although we don't really, I haven't seen an Indian follow social distancing.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them ones. It's like you kind of have to remember it because at the end of the day, this stuff is still real. It still
Yeah,
happens. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess it's a big part of it is just taking care of yourself. And I mean, even this doesn't really affect me, but there's singers in India that I've been speaking to, and their whole shows have just been cancelled. Like they pretty much a whole year of income has gone for them because
yeah,
they had shows lined up, and that hasn't really happened for them. So it's a shame. It's a shame, really. But what can you do? It's the situation we're living in, and hopefully, you know, we can get over it.
before I let you go, there was a question that I really liked and I really want to ask you. In the UK, we're often told that, you know, if you want to go into the entertainment world, if you want to work in entertainment, it's not a full-time job. You can't do it full-time. Have you had that as well from your family? Or like, do you do this full-time? Is it easy to do it full-time? Do you suggest people to do it full-time? Or
It's definitely not easy. It's 100% not easy. There's only a few people that do it full time. I mean, luckily, like we haven't had to do like anything else. Like we're like right now, what we're doing in the music stuff is just keeping us going. But that's, I mean, it's different, especially being in the UK. Like being in India, I find that pretty much everyone does it full time because they're able to do that over there. I mean, not everyone, but majority of people that I've
yeah,
worked with in India do it full time because they can do that. Do you know what I mean? In the UK, life is a little bit different. We got bills. We got, you know, we got parents that are on our cases to like, you know, make money and stuff and do stuff. But it's one of them ones. If you want it enough, you're going to find a way to do it full time. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's going to be very hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be probably one of the hardest things to do. But if you want it enough, anyone can do it.
yeah, yeah. But I
Mm.
think it's the thing about balancing in the UK or any other country that you're from, like any country
Yeah.
outside of India, because we have to have jobs. I think it's so important because it's not going to work without jobs. Like it's just like that. So
Yeah.
do you work apart from music as well?
Nah. We just do music, man. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I'm not saying that even if you've got a job, like it's not impossible to carry on doing music. You just need to grind, man. You need to work. You need to work constantly. Like you need to be coming back from work until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up, going to work. I know people that have done that. Do you know what I mean? I've been in a situation where I've done that when I was younger and stuff. Like you have to grind, man. You need to work hard to kind of follow your dreams and make it a reality. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, that's amazing. Well, it's always lovely talking to you, and like it's been amazing talking to you today as well. I think a lot of people are like I learned a lot from you in today's conversation, and I hope everybody else enjoyed it as well. Anything you want to say before I let you go to like everybody watching and in general?
Just thank you very much for the support, for the love. A lot more music coming soon. And yeah, man, just keep showing love to what we're doing. You know, there's not a lot of people in the UK that are doing something, but we're definitely one of the people that are doing something. So, yeah, keep the UK music industry alive, man. And that's it, really. Big up everyone. Big up Asia. Big up yourself.
I'm really excited to hear what you've got in store for us upcoming in the next couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
wish you all the best for everything because you're smashing it as always.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
You take care. Have a lovely evening. Go have food and probably sleep.
Yeah.
All right.
All
You
right,
take
you
care.
too.
Bye bye, Manni.
Bye.